Yeah, I think obviously we, with Rani leaving, it created a little bit of money to make the squad a little bit deeper. And I know some people criticised us for replacing quality with quantity. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think we've got plenty of quality, and we've got more depth as well. And players improve, I think, within a good environment, and I think we're seeing the fruits of that. I think the players are improving and they're driving their own standards within what we're doing. So yeah, we have got depth. I think when I came in last year there was a limited amount of that, and this year is a lot better. And we've got a few injuries. We've got people like Massey and Boyle and Jake Webster who'll potentially come back soonish. So it'll be like fresh faces coming in, which will reinvigorate the squad, I think.
That's what's happening at halfback, isn't it? Your halfbacks are thriving on that competition. There's players like Jamie Ellis and Brett Seymour can't get anywhere near the 13.
Yeah, I think Jamie Ellis has been unfortunate because he got injured in his first pre-season training session, which is never a good thing. So he's missed a hell of a lot, and he's only had one game. Of course, the way the rugby league's set up at the moment, it's difficult to get him a game, and I've had a chat with him because he's going to need an opportunity at some point, and he'll get that, and then it'll be down to him. But you're right that Liam Finn's come in and he's been fantastic, and so has Sneyd, and at the moment they're the front runners there. But things change pretty quickly, whether it's through injury or loss of form. So and that's why it's important to have that depth of talent within the squad.
York start this weekend. Could Jamie Ellis potentially be playing for them? Is that an option?
Potentially, yeah. Certainly over the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'm hoping that's going to be the case. Of course, it's whichever player you put up as an option to you, they've got to want to have him within their setup, and it doesn't always dovetail the way that you want it to. But hopefully that'll be the case in the near future.
I don't know whether you're a bit hamstrung with Brett, are you, with his cut on the quota and that? You can't put him on dual reg, or has it changed from last year?
No, it's the same. You can't put him on dual reg, and that's obviously a difficulty for overseas players. But there's not a lot we can do about that. So we obviously do a lot of work in practice that puts a player under pressure, but it's not the same as playing in games, obviously. So it is an issue within the sport, and I think it's going to become a bigger issue with promotion and relegation and more clubs vying to be promoted. So I think that something's going to have to be done over the next couple of years to tidy that up.
In the short term, can Brett go out on loan somewhere? With Bradford looking at halfbacks.
Yeah, he could potentially. Yeah, so that's something. I'll be sitting down with Brett today and having a chat with him and see where he's at, and then we'll take it from there.
Bradford showing an interest, have they been talking?
Not that I know of. I've been focusing on day-to-day stuff. I haven't really spoke to anybody at Bradford. So obviously they've had Gaskell injured recently, which puts them under a little bit of pressure at half. So that could be an option, but that'll be down to Bradford. And I haven't had a chat with Steve Gill over the last few days about any interest.
Just looking ahead to Friday, I know it's only 2 games into the season, but top of the table it brings its own pressures, doesn't it? You talked about, or somebody at the club, as it might not have been you, talked about flying under the radar, but you're not going to be able to do that if you keep winning, are you?
Well, no, I don't think it matters, to be honest. It's just about being consistent, and we've got another opportunity, one game at a time. We've got OKR in front of us. It's a tough place to go, we know that. They're a pretty big physical team. But no, I just think it's about us and making sure our performance levels are right. And if we're good enough to win a game, we'll win it regardless of whether we're under or over the radar. Teams will prepare well against us regardless. So, I've not a real problem with that. I think and we spoke about just not getting too carried away with ourselves because we've started the season well. It's about maintaining our effort levels and our honesty, which I think there's a great amount of within the team at the moment.
There's a defence finishing this year, because you're averaging, I think it was over 30 last year, and you've conceded 18 and 6 in your 2 games so far this year. So that's a considerable improvement.
Yeah, it has. I think that's been, and you can sort of look at other things as well. You look at our kicking game, which I think has been fantastic. So if you finish in the right areas, then you minimise the opportunity for the opposition to break you down, and I think we've done that well. and defensively we've minimised the amount of tackles that we've been missing, and they've all been under 20 in the trial game and the 2 games so far. So that's a significant decrease, and that's really what we spent a lot of time focusing on in pre-season. So if you work hard, generally you get the fruits of your labour, don't you? And that's the big thing is, as you get into the season and teams look at how you're defending, and they come up with ways to pick you off and play against you, and that's where we need to be consistent in what we're doing.
You're still scoring points as well, aren't you? Which I think you mentioned after the game on Sunday, people sort of didn't expect you to do really with Rangi gone, but you've scored over 13.
Yeah, I think that's. I think at the weekend a little bit more clarity in our execution, we would have scored more as well. I think we created a lot of opportunities. Our decision making, we didn't quite get it right. You're not going to get it 100%, but if we'd have been a little bit better, we would have scored more points. So we're creating opportunities, and there's lots of things that we can improve. And we sat down and reviewed the game yesterday and picked out a fair few things that a lot of them are little things, but we're trying to have standards within all the little bits of detail that we work on that enable us to be effective with and without the ball, which we've been pretty good at so far.
Okay, I'm going to come up with a plan to try and stop Carney.
Oh, okay. But I think everybody does, don't they? But, it's not just about Carney, is it? You got Daryl Clark here today to talk about stuff. He's been fantastic at the start of the season. Michael Shenton, I thought, was unbelievable at the weekend. That's the best game I've seen him play for a hell of a long time, and his confidence is high. I think Channing's playing well on the other side, and our forward pack's been great. So I think if you watch us at the moment, there's a lot of things to deal with if you're an opposition coach, and that's what we want in our game. Over the coming weeks, we hopefully have Jake Webster coming back into the equation. And Nathan Massey probably, so that'll give us a couple more, particularly up front. We've been our big men, we've tried to share the workload, but our big men have been doing a lot of minutes, so when Massey comes, give us a chance to try and share that out a little bit more.
Is James Clare available again yet?
No, he had a problem in his chest, on his sternum, which is causing him some trouble, and they tend to take a little bit of time to clear up. So he's just getting back into contact at the moment, and I don't think he's too far off, but he'll be coming into the equation soonish.
Yeah. What kind of game then are you expecting? Okay.
A pretty tough one. Watched them play against Leeds and Huddersfield, and they've had one good half in both of those games and one poor half. So if they get it together consistently, then they're a tough team to play against. And obviously, Keating's new in there. Keating and Burns good halves, so they'll cause us some trouble. And the forward pack, it may be an issue for them, but they've got some depth, and it'll be a youngish forward pack, both the Walkers and Green and Cox. So they're still pretty big, regardless of the people that they're going to be missing. But we'll go into it with some confidence, and we'll look after ourselves. I think that's really important that we focus on our game and get that right.